I am Dr. Eli Camp. Welcome. This is my podcast, Vital Wisdom. And this is where I talk about health, wellness, homesteading, raising children, and lots of other topics, all from the perspective of vitalism. I believe I've seen and taught others how the body can heal itself if it's given what it needs, it's not poisoned, and the innate healing ability of the body has been supported, not suppressed. It is my intention to bring what I have learned in my life, especially the last 24 years of being a physician, to help you be your own best doctor. Hope you enjoy the episodes, and thanks for being here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Vital Wisdom with me, Dr. Eli Camp. And we have a special guest today, Andrea Reed, who is, she's kind of a force of nature. And we're going to talk about all the really great stuff that she's doing. But before we jump right into that, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I want to remind all of you what I say every single episode, and that is, I believe I'm from the paradigm of medicine where I believe, and I've seen, that the body has the ability to heal itself. It wants to be healthy. It was designed to be a self-healing organism, and it's pretty simple. Well, so I can say it simply. It can be a little more involved than the simple words of, let's make sure our body has what it needs to flourish and to thrive. And let's not poison it so we can remove obstacles to that thriving and flourishing. And let's stimulate the innate built-in healing mechanism that we have. So I can say all of that in 24 seconds, but it takes time. It takes time to figure out what each person needs to do in those three big areas. What does each person need? What is each person doing that's poisoning their body? Or mind, or right, their energy field. It does. We exist on multiple planes as organisms, and each person needs something different to stimulate their innate healing ability. And so that's what we're talking about. Today's no different. So I'm so excited. I met Andrea a couple of years ago, actually, maybe almost 3 years ago, when we ran farm school, right? Homeschool class. And she brought her boys out to join in. And I just knew right from the very first moment that we were kindred spirits when it comes to understanding healing and bringing this kind of healing to the public. So thank you for being here. Tell my audience and me a little bit more. Tell what are you doing?
Well, thank you for having me on here. It's an honor. I love it. I've loved getting to know you and having our friendship grow over the years. And like we were talking about earlier, our lunchtime chats could go on for hours. It's so great to have a space where we can learn and connect and grow from each other. And I learn so much every time we meet up. So thank you for letting me be here. Hello to Dr. Camp's audience. I'm Andrea Reed. I am, how do you say who you are? Because I think none of us are just one thing anymore, but maybe we never were. I homeschool our boys. I'm a multi-passionate wellness entrepreneur. I have a nonprofit. We have all these different pieces in our lives. I'm a wife of 21 years to an incredible man who supports all the crazy projects that we have going on here all the time. And truly, I feel like I've come into a space now at, 48 years young, that I'm starting to realize the common thread of all the pieces of what I'm doing through my own healing journey and my own background is helping people remember. I used to say that part of my passion is to empower people, but I'm not empowering anybody. We have the intelligence of nature and our body within that I feel like through whatever reason we've forgotten. And I forgot my background from Vancouver Island, Canada, originally, where I'm born. I was born and raised there. And, I grew up knowing that the body could heal itself. I'm a second generation crunchy back when it was called granola. Natural health and wellness. My mom, you've met my mom. She
Yeah.
has an incredible story. She healed herself through an incurable misdiagnosis in the 1980s with no access to the internet, changing nutrition. I used to go to all these doctors' offices and eventually naturopath offices as my mom went on this 10-year healing journey. And so that was always my foundation. I knew that we were intelligently designed, we can heal ourselves. But the question was always why? Like, even as a young adult, like, why is there chronic disease? And so throughout my career in natural health and wellness, as I grew up and I always asked those questions, like, why do we have scar tissue? Like, why does that cell communicate that it's damaged to the next cell? So motherhood was really my indoctrination into motherhood was where a lot of my healing crisis was triggered. And I kind of went through most of my life thinking I'm good. Like I dodged a bullet, like my mom did the healing for me. And truly, like when the emotional level of unresolved stuff, whether it's from early in life or generationally or chemically or, all the different pieces, birth trauma, it all kind of snowballed and came up with the birth of my first child. And I think that if I hadn't become a mom, I probably would have just cruised through,
Mm.
probably just would have kept going. And uh, who knows where that journey would have led me. But I had this tiny human that I had to be whole for. I had to heal myself so I could be there for him. And he had his stuff going on too. It's not easy being a newborn. Birth is tough for everybody.
Yeah.
And so I had to find answers for him. And that led me into this world of that I dove into now as a practitioner of functional body work and ancestral clearing and how, the body remembers and holds trauma and learning all that. At one point, I had insomnia, daily panic attacks, if not multiple times a day. And I remember in the early days, just I was afraid to even leave the house. And I almost got used to it.
Mm.
And I think that that's the scary part is that these pieces can creep in so easily. And I've seen it happen in other people where it can go on for years and years. And because of my foundation, I knew I was like, there's a small part of me that remembered no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like our brains are tricky, right? We don't often remember the good when we're in the dark.
Hmm.
So as I started to acquire the tools to pull myself out of that, I started, as the nature goes, attracting people that needed the help that I had already started to figure out.
Mm.
And that's how I built my practice. And when we had our second son, so I went from a 3-day long drawn out traumatic hospital birth experience with my first to a 8-hour home birth with my second. Still hard, birth is hard for anybody. Um, I actually just thought it was hard for me. And I came to learn that
It's hard.
functionally, yeah, it is.
Man,
It,
you're popping out like a bowling ball. Come on.
but I knew people that it wasn't challenging for.
Right.
And I'm like, well, okay, so either you're lying, you've forgotten, or something's up. Something's
Yeah.
up. And as I learned how the body functions physically, and it's all, like you said it so beautifully in the beginning, we're multi layers, multi-dimensional. I learned, oh, maybe the 4 tailbone falls I had in my life made my pelvis a different shape, made it challenging for the babies to come out, maybe led to whatever specific issues that they had. So yeah, but it is challenging. Um, I started having people ask me. So I had this background now of like the hospital experience and the home birth experience. And I was just spending time one-on-one, raising my family, talking to people about the resources I'd acquired. And I really came to see that Northeastern Oklahoma has just this incredible base of like really, really knowledgeable health professionals, natural health and wellness practitioners. And coming from Canada, the West Coast, having spent 7 years living in London, these major metropolitan places that have a little wellness center on every corner, I didn't find that here.
Hmm.
Everyone's kind of tucked away in little places, quietly doing their own thing. And I started to realize that as more people were asking me for these, that I could really help people on a larger level. So in 2019, we put together the holistic birth and baby event. And we did this under a nonprofit I had started called Oklahoma Center for Wellness. And I put on this little event, and we had like 25 vendors, and I brought together everybody that I wish I'd had before I was a mom. So,
Mm-hmm.
physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all the aspects of holistic health and healing, because my personal experience, my background of being like third generation medical letdown, allopathic medicine did not, it actually caused more harm for me.
Mm-hmm. It does for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I had a minor surgery in 2004, like on my feet. And I spent just like the roller coaster of time after that, having to cleanse out my liver, wondering why all this anger was coming up. It was challenging
Mm-hmm.
my emotions. It was crazy. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm a control freak, or maybe I just don't want to go down that path again. I just knew there had to be a different way. So I never say what's right for everybody. I can only share from my point of view, from my
Sure.
experiences. So since then, now we're up to our 6th year. We've grown from serving 75 people at the first event. Now we're expecting in the thousands of attendees this year at the Holistic Wellness event here in um, Tulsa, Broken Arrow area in little old Oklahoma.
It's pretty
We're
amazing.
it is, and I think it's a sign of the times that, first of all, our area is producing so many incredible natural health and wellness health professionals, practitioners, through your
Mm-hmm.
training, through a variety of schools around town, but also people are looking for ways to heal themselves. It's
Mm-hmm.
like where I'm going for my primary source of information isn't serving me. The search engines also sell pharmaceuticals. It's
Yeah.
like, how do I find the answers to my health issues when where I'm going for these answers, they're telling me we don't know, or there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's another layer of, especially for women, stripping away the that intuition, that inner knowledge, whether you're a mother or not. And it's for all people, but I've seen it, of course, my point of view is from being a woman. It's like this piece of like, no, you're fine.
That's something my patients struggle with. So people come in when I see folks, that's one of the first things they often say is, man, all the doctors I've talked to tell me it's in my head. It's all in my head. Like I'm making this up. I'm not making this up. This is my experience. Well, folks, just so you know, this will be the third year I'm going back to this the holistic health event. What's the official name of it?
The holistic wellness event.
Holistic wellness event. This is my third year. My first year, I had no idea what to expect. And I was really blown away, I think, by this. So, Andrea, you alluded to this. You have all these great practitioners and you have all these people seeking a different paradigm of health, right? They're seeking the paradigm of wellness, is what they're seeking, right?
Yeah.
And what I saw the first time I came was this uh, like these two groups like colliding right in time and space to make a little bit of magic. And I met some great people, and last year was awesome, and I'm really looking forward to this year. I think it's just going to continue to grow. We
Yeah.
totally need this. It'd be great, I think for some surrounding states to for this to become one of the wellness events to attend. People come down from Kansas, come over from Arkansas, come up from Texas, even maybe in from New Mexico, because to gather people together who are holistic health practitioners of any kind, whether you're an MD who's a functional doctor, or you are someone who's learned hands on healing, or vibrational frequency color medicine, or you cook really good food that nourishes us, whatever. We need this community to grow. And I'm so grateful that you are spearheading this type of gathering of people.
Yeah, and our team has grown too. And that's the part of the reason why, yes, this was the spark that I felt to help create, to co-create. And as we've been growing, our team has been growing, which has allowed us to really expand. I do see this eventually as a template that could be modeled in other states.
Sure.
But there's something really special to me personally, because this is where my healing experience was, about this geography. Because Oklahoma, so I'm not proud, but it is a funny story to say. The first time I came to Oklahoma was for work from London. I got sent here for work, which is where I met my husband. And I got on a plane from England without knowing where Oklahoma was on the map. I just was like, what? I thought he was kidding when he said he was sending me to Oklahoma. And he was just like straight face. I'm like, what? Knew it was a musical. I think Hugh Jackman was in it. So I'm not proud of that. Canadians don't get a lot of US geography in our education. But I arrived here and I was like, wow, people are, I mean, it was July, so it was hot. People open the door for you. People make eye contact. People say, excuse me, yes, ma'am, hello. There's a heart-centered focus here that maybe is also elsewhere, but I hadn't seen it. Certainly not in the UK and on the coasts.
Yeah.
So this is this flyover drive-through state that I'm like, what if we build a wellness center on a large enough piece of land that we have autonomy from traffic fumes and cell towers and like 80 acres or so, which is, there's a lot of land in Oklahoma. What if we build this wellness center that has 360 degrees of natural health and wellness all under one roof, where somebody can come in for one meal, one workshop, one day, a weekend, a week, a whole healing experience. They can come in and work. If you're searching for purpose and you want to serve, but you don't know where to start, you can come and have apprenticeship programs in there. But what if we build this in Oklahoma and bring in the world-class instructors? Like, we're lucky to have Dr. Eli Camp in Oklahoma. There's a lot of like incredible people that I've learned from that I'm like, man, how lucky are we that y'all are based here? But there's so many worldwide and nationwide that
Hmm.
they travel and it's not on their radar. And we create
Hmm.
this hub that then they can come here and also educate our local community too.
Hmm.
So that's the primary goal of our nonprofit. And the holistic wellness event it started out as kind of a traveling circus, and now it's just this massive, truly, it's this
I can
massive.
only imagine the first year. It was probably like,
Yeah, we were in a community center gymnasium the first year in 2019. And I mean, I had sleepless nights. I'm like, am I going to be paying for this out of my pocket? Like, it's going
right.
to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But I had a local Southwood nursery. They donated a whole bunch of native massive plants so that we could bring them in just for the day and decorate this gym and make it more like a natural place environment. We had people that believed in this vision from the very beginning. But yeah, it was, I was out in the rain, stomping the signs in the mud the day before. And
Oh my gosh.
we've just grown to a place where it's helping a lot of people. And that's really what it's about.
Well, so for those of you who might be wondering, it's free to attend. It's free to come as a consumer or practitioner, right? You just want to come meet everybody. The vendor booth fees are very fair, but I think you're sold out for this one, aren't you?
We do still have some vendor booths available for this
Okay,
year.
so for 2025, there's
Yeah.
a little bit available, but there can't be that much. I know there was a lot of interest in it this year. Azure is your big sponsor, but you have several sponsors, right? Azure Standard, Azure Well.
Yep, Azure Standard,
Um,
Azure Well are our title sponsors. We've got Erin Martin, who's a national speaker on soil health and regenerative farming. She's going to be at one of our speakers at the event the night before, which is for our vendor sponsors, volunteers. We've got 1820 Spa, which is connected to a wellness hotel here in Tulsa. They're one of our sponsors. And then, of course, me and MD and Mindset Kids, they are also one of our sponsors. So,
that's cool. And
yeah.
I'll be at the VIP event talking about something. What
Yes,
I don't
Bill.
know, but it'll be. what my typical thing I do, right? Who knows what that is? Sorry, I stepped on my glasses, and so I'm having to finagle them, and one arm is really high, and I need to get it in sand and adjust it and all that. Okay, so you definitely had your own healing journey, as all of us do, although that healing journey certainly does not move everybody to create a nonprofit and envision this awesome, healing center or do annual conferences. So good on you for that. I mean, we needed it here. And I think the area was ripe for it. Um, you mentioned a little bit about being a practitioner. Tell us a little bit about that. What do you do? What's your training and what do you offer people as a practitioner?
Yeah, so I started out looking for ways to heal myself, right? Like a lot of us did. And I came across ancestral clearing, which is it's not necessarily faith-based, but essentially it is prayers, clearings, can be done remotely, can be done in person, that connects with God, creator, source, whatever your word is for that which created. It can help people who also may have no belief system um, to release and resolve the unresolved stuff that could be passed on from generation to generation. And we're able to track that now through the study of epigenetics and how these epigenetic attachments can even skip a generation. So a lot of us could be showing up. My experience was, why do I feel this way? What's wrong with me? Why can't anyone help me? I'm smart. Like I should be able to figure this out. And if the physics of it is, if there are pieces within me that are unresolved from war, famine, displacement, all this stuff that has been going on our planet for however long, our ancestors, even like our grandparents, they didn't have a chance to presence through their traumas. They didn't have a
Mhm.
chance to be like, wow, this is a really awful experience. Let me just take a moment and do some somatic breathing and really allow that to move through our nervous system. Like we're designed to process stress and then be back in that parasympathetic state. They were choosing which kid they could afford to feed, or they were dropping bombs on people or having bombs dropped on them, or both. And it was just like you just pull up your bootstraps and you just keep going. You just survive, keep going, survive, keep going. And it's my personal opinion that that's why we're seeing one of many reasons why we're seeing so many younger generations struggling now, because that snowball has rolled downhill for so long,
Mhm.
and it gains mass and it gains weight, and until someone turns and says, okay, I'm going to handle this ancestral stuff, and it's not easy. But I knew a lot of people that were looking for ways to do it but didn't know how. Like we
Right.
see the memes on Facebook, like it ends with me, but how?
Well, wow.
Mhm.
What do you mean? What do I got to do?
Yeah.
Burn sage? Do I have to dance around a fire? Like, yes, I totally get it. How do you do that? It's a big question.
Yeah. And so I tried a lot of things, like a lot of things. I did the sage thing. Nope. Nope to your yes. In marriage, don't burn sage in your husband's side of the closet. I'm just gonna let you know.
Okay, this
He was
is
like,
good to know.
my clothes smell weird. I was like, oh, that's odd.
Oh,
No, I told him. So finding this modality of ancestral clearing and then training as an advanced practitioner, I've been doing this for over 8 years, helping people release is very efficient. It's very quick. It often doesn't feel good. It requires us to feel what doesn't feel good in the body and move through it. But the good news is you don't have to know what the issue is. I don't have to know what my ancestors went through, because how stuff went on that people didn't talk about.
oh yeah.
There has to be a way to clear that backlog. That led me to the functional bodywork side of it. I trained at Ingram Institute in functional bodywork and cranial sacral therapy, which then led me to finding human garage and fascial maneuvers, which is kind of new to this area. Maybe some of your viewers here are already familiar with human garage. They're helping tens of millions of people worldwide to learn how to heal themselves in 10 to 15 minutes a day through functional rotational movement. And so I trained with them, and I'm now offering that as well as part of my practice, because what this does is it takes the practitioner kind of out of the equation. So if I wake up at 2 in the morning and I put my neck out and my chiropractor, body worker, or massage therapist is booked up for 6 weeks, like here, people are booked way up. I know you're booked up
A
years.
2-year wait list.
Yeah. So how do I get help? We have these tools that we can use in-house. I can jump on YouTube for free, Human Garage on YouTube, learn how to move my body in a way that releases the fascia, releases the tension, and often that's enough to help correct it until I can get to my body worker. And then they're able to do deeper work because my
Mm-hmm.
nervous system is being helped every day by myself. Again,
Mm-hmm.
it's helping people realize, like, Wizard of Oz, you had the power all along, my dear. Like, truly, it's just a remembering that we're having to go through. So that's very much a part of my practice. I do work with people, but my passion is to guide them to the tools so they can help themselves. Not everybody wants to. A lot of people want to come together in community and move together, and we're doing a lot of those here locally and online too. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's true. I've experienced that over the last 20 years. As some folks want you to be the leader and they want to be in lockstep right behind you as the leader down the path. They still have to do the walk and they still have to do the work, but they're unsure of where to go. And some people are like, "Will you just point me in the right direction? I can do this. I just don't know what path to walk down." And then everybody in between, right?
And I've been both. I mean, when I had my first birth experience, I didn't know how bad it was. My husband literally had to tell me, like, "Hey, did you realize that it's been days since you've smiled?" Like
Oh,
I know, I would just sit there and it was just like this heavy, dark wave that felt like it was over me. And, come to find out, I was nutritionally in a deficit from birth and trauma and medication and all the stuff that now I'm like, oh, well, I know that I needed essential fatty acids. I know that now I needed more cellular nutrition. I didn't know that then. I needed somebody to literally take my hand, like I was in a hole and the only tool I had was a shovel and it was getting me
yep,
deeper and deeper. I need someone to take me by the hand and say, okay, first you need to do this, then you need
yep,
to do this. And as because I had no confidence, it had all been stripped away from me. I was just looking outside of myself for answers for everything. And as I built that back and started to remember and then feel that strength within me, I was like, okay, I got this now. I can run with this until the next thing, right? Like, and then something else happens in life, but we have our toolbox that we can lean on. And, we need community.
mm-hmm.
And we also, I noticed that many of us have that like 2-year-old within that's like, I can do it myself.
I can do
So
it. I can do it.
I got it.
Yes,
I got it till I don't. And then I have my tools in my community. So
yes, yes. You say all of this, and I want to remind everybody that the overriding theme here is a belief that the body can heal itself. And this is really what I'm hearing you say is this is about finding people that also believe that or know that, right? I don't know if it's a belief or it's a knowing. For me, I cannot see life on this planet in any other way other than living creatures on this planet are designed to heal themselves. We were born that way, we were created that way. So it doesn't make sense to me that we're somehow not able to do that and therefore we need to rely on drugs
right.
and surgery. And I'm not saying drugs and surgery sometimes don't save a life, but that's an assumption that our body doesn't have what it needs to heal itself. And I don't believe that for a minute. I think sometimes it needs help, but most of the time, what it needs is healing and clearing and support. And we need knowledge about how to do the best for our body to get it to do its best self healing. And I usually have to remind people of this. We're coming from a paradigm of medicine here. And I've talked with Andrea enough to know that we see this in a very similar way. The body has the ability to heal itself. You need to give it what it needs, whatever that might be. And it may be many different things depending on the journey you've had. and you need to remove obstacles that are preventing it from healing. And again, that could be many things depending on the person. And then you have to support and stimulate that innate healing. Um, so you've had your journey, you became a practitioner. I tried to recruit y'all, so you know this. I tried to recruit her to become a homeopathic practitioner in my course. And it was the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time for her. But I still have hopes that you might pick up homeopathy as a practitioner at some point in the future. Um, and then you've gathered. So I've met some incredible people through you, right? And doing all different sorts of things, basher work and like lots of people doing all different sorts of things in this holistic health and natural healing world.
Yeah, this is an invitation. And truly I've gone from experiences of really wanting to help people that weren't ready for the help. I've been in that position where I wasn't ready for the help. I had people try and help me before I had my first birth experience. And I was like, no, I'm good. I got this. Now, if I had listened to them, it would have been a very different journey. But I don't regret the journey because it's led me to where I am right now. So that constantly humbles and teaches me that this is an invitation for those who are ready, willing, and able to, and who want to shift. And my focus was always on healing, and recently it has gone beyond healing, like beyond what does life look like beyond healing? Because as we focus on healing, life, what we focus on, right? Life will give us more of what we're focusing on. It's just physics.
Mhm.
It's like the etheric internet. Whatever you're looking at on your social media, you're going to get more of. Now put that into like the real world. Whatever we're looking at, we're getting more of.
Mhm.
So if that minivan is always cutting you off, no offense to minivans, you're going to start seeing minivans cutting you off everywhere you go. Shifting that makes a big deal, makes a huge difference. But when we're shifting that, the root. So the invitation, that was a tangent, but it's okay. I'm going to roll
That's
with it.
okay. I love tangents.
I live in tangents. And so, but we always circle back around. The invitation is for people who are looking for answers, who are looking for help, who are in pain. I was in chronic pain for over a decade, every single day on pretty much all levels. And as I healed that, I got to a place very, very recently where I started to explore what does it feel like to not be in a healing journey anymore. And that's where the word thrive has come in, like beyond healing. How would it feel to, if you have that block in front of you in karate or in martial arts, and they want you to break that with your hand? How is that physically possible to do? You're not focusing on the block. You're focusing on the space beyond it. And so that's my invitation to anybody that may feel stuck or out of hope, is like there is a space beyond where you are. It's just our brains are just not wired to look at that. Our brains will often hold on to where we're at. Like if you're having an amazing day, it's hard to remember the bad. It's the same as when you're having a bad day, it's hard to remember the good, or a bad week or month or year.
Mhm.
So the invitation was put out. Who wants to come to this free event? It had to be a free event
Mhm.
because I wanted no barriers for anybody coming, for anybody who wanted to bring their mom or their grandma and like, oh no, honey, I don't want you to pay for me kind of thing. It was just like, no, it has to be just a free open invitation, which is why it's such a blessing and an honor that our vendors and our donors to our nonprofit are supporting this event.
Mhm.
And the invitation was to the vendors. It's
Mhm.
it's got to be good for them too. And we've just really got into this beautiful sweet spot where our natural health and wellness practitioner community is growing into the hundreds of hundreds.
Mhm.
This little in Oklahoma, y'all. And our wellness seeking community, or our wellness passionate community, is growing into the thousands.
Mhm.
Like you say, those two collide, it's just this beautiful space,
Mhm.
this marketplace that's created at these wellness events. And so my vision is to eventually have the holistic wellness event be based out of our Oklahoma Center for Wellness, our holistic wellness center, which we're still looking for land. We haven't found the beautiful, perfect place for that yet.
Right.
But that's a journey too. So
That is a journey, and I think when the right land at the right time is there, it will manifest because everybody's thinking about that. Everyone's watching for that. We're ready for that to happen, and so it will happen. Well, that's awesome. So, what do the kids think about this? What do your boys think about this?
they go between wanting mom to leave them alone every cough or itch or
Yeah,
everything, I'm good. Uh,
yes.
they go between that and hey, I've got a bit of a headache. Do you have something that can help me? So we'll do like a little antler twist and do some fascial maneuvers and breathing and release all that tension. And they're like, I'm like, how do you feel now? They're like, oh, better.
Mhm.
So I always tried to kind of force it. And like, now we're going to do our exercises and now we're going to take our vitamins and now we're going to, they're 14 and 10. They have their own interests, their own friends. But they're growing up with the foundation of, okay, when things happen, we have things to handle it. And then the next layer of that is they have a foundation that the goal is to not be in damage control. The goal is
Mhm.
to create a foundation. And we use the homeopathy, we use the herbal
Mhm.
medicine, we use the supplements and vitamins
And food and
and
sleep
food
and energy and
and
emotional
sunshine.
state, right?
The emotions are huge, and my personal and professional belief is that most disease has, if not all, an emotional root to it. Ayurveda talks about that with the different layers. By the time it gets to physical, it's already been through spiritual, emotional, all the different things. So, we homeschool and I work from home in 2 to 3 hours a day. And so I'm able to sit with them and like, if they have an issue, okay, let's presence through it.
Mhm.
I don't want to, it hurts. I want to, you stub your toe and they're like, I'm like, when you do that, you're keeping it. Don't keep it. Let it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Breathe it out. So I don't know. I think that this is just a part of what they came in for. They're here and they're a part of it. They're immersed in it. And as long as it's an invitation for them,
Mhm.
they're willing. If it's like mom says, which I do sometimes, like we do
Mhm.
our annual, I just got your email. We do our annual every month. We do our dosages.
Mhm.
Like, but those taste good to them. So they're like, yep,
Yeah,
sure.
that's an easy sell, but the sometimes it's not such an easy sell, huh?
Mhm. It's
Well,
been
that's
a
cool.
long
Yeah, my
journey too.
teenagers are becoming much more independent in regards to what they eat and how they sleep and their own health care. But I can observe from watching them that my teachings have rubbed off. So, someone will be tired and the other one will say, well, did you get enough sleep? Or did you eat like living food yesterday? Have you had enough water? Are you hydrated enough? And I hear them say this, and I know that they have learned the core. They've learned the core, and like I even one of them said to the other one a couple of weeks ago, well, you were really upset about this thing, and maybe your emotions have drained you out, and you need to like work through them. And I know, right? That is to have that awareness
Yeah.
at 16 and 17 is such a gift that they don't even know it's a gift because, man, I was in my 30s before I could even recognize the physical impact that not only my emotions of today were having on me, but like you say, it's not even ancestral stuff for me, it's childhood stuff. I don't even know the contribution the ancestral stuff is making on top of that. Um, but I didn't know it took me a third of my life before I even started to think like that. And so I feel really good when I hear them say stuff like that because who knows where the beyond they can get to, right? And I love how you describe that with the breaking the block. You're not focused on the block. You're on the beyond. It's a space that exists whether you are aware of it or not. And people, I'm telling you, it's there. It's there. Like whether you see it or think about it or realize, it doesn't matter because it's there. There it's every that to me is most of it is beyond.
Yeah.
This is just a fraction of it. And it's the beyond that makes up the most of it. So
And that's why it's so important for people early in their journey, I feel like, to have a trusted, naturally minded practitioner that can hold that space for them until they're ready to hold it for themselves.
yes.
And I had so many people literally holding me up until I could see for myself. I remember being in tears with one friend, and she's like, "Why do you cry every time I come over?" And I was like, "Because I see in you that you see things in me I haven't seen yet."
Yeah.
And that's that reflection that we all get to be for each other, those mirrors we get to be for each other. It was such a beautiful thing that it was hard to look at because she saw me as whole and I didn't see that yet. And like if you don't have that in your life yet, know that that is possible.
Mm-hmm. That
It's
would make a really good post,
yeah.
that idea that sometimes we need those people in our lives that can see the whole of us, even if we can't see it. And we can also see the whole in others that they can't see, like the wholeness that's possible. Not everybody reaches that, but it's always possible
Well,
to
and
do
that's the
that.
etymology of holistic is we did that in the one of the very first posts I put out ever when we started this little event. I just put holistic, with the like etymology of it, and it was whole, period, complete, period. And then last year we put those on t-shirts and because what then we're wearing those words on ourselves until we can just body that and believe that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Great job with
absolutely.
your teens. I mean, I think about my teen years, I reached for all sorts of things outside of myself in order to numb that pain and feeling within. And so, no, I didn't even know this was possible.
No, no. Well, I'm so glad you made it. And I'm glad that you found your way to this path, or you're the path and you were magnetically attracted, I'm sure. Um, like it has to be you and it has to be right now and it has to be this for whatever's next to manifest. It's the pieces fell in place. So thank you for doing what you're doing and for providing a space for me to be as a teacher, right? A vendor and more a teacher and just part of the community. And I know there's people out there who are folks that attend and they're probably very grateful as well that you are there. So
Well, and
before
likewise
we
to
go,
you. Likewise to you. Thank you for doing what you do and for walking your journey to getting to this place. So,
well, my pleasure.
yeah.
I always like my guests to give our audience some words of wisdom about their own healing journey. What do you have for our people? Give us a few words of wisdom.
Yeah, I think if there was one thing that you could know for sure is that healing is possible and that the questions we ask life, we get answered. And I learned that from my mom early in life when she got to the point where it was so bad. Because sometimes, in order for change to happen, it has to be more painful to not do anything. And that I remember her telling her story. Somebody has got to be able to help me. Who can help me? Who is it that can help me? It wasn't, how do I do this? And when she asked that question, the answers came. And she found a naturopath in Vancouver who wrote a book. And or maybe, in your story, if you're watching this, you'll overhear something at a coffee shop like I did. I remember looking at my 3-month-old and saying, "Babe, I don't know how to help you. And where we're going, it isn't working. So you're gonna have to bring someone to me." And I get goosebumps. Within like 7 or 8 days, the same name came up 3 times from trusted people randomly. I wasn't even asking.
Wow.
So there is um, there is a support system in place, but because of free will, we need to ask. So the
Mm-hmm.
questions you ask will be answered, and the words matter. So if you're seeking help, well, you're in the right place. Dr. Camp's podcasts are full of wisdom, so much. But just know that healing is possible. And even if you feel like it can't, and if you're in that journey, there is a space beyond that that is very, very sweet.
Thank you for that. There you have it, folks. Andrea Reed. And if you're local or even within a couple of hours of Tulsa, consider coming to the event. We'll put links when we post this episode, put show notes. Consider coming if you're a vendor and you'd like to come share your wonderfulness with the community here in Oklahoma. Reach out to her as well. And yeah, keep on, keep on. Thanks for being here. It was wonderful to have this time to chat with you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I'll see y'all when I see you. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. For those of you who have written and emailed and are interested in my books and other offerings, I wrote The Unvaccinated Child as a resource guide for parents and caregivers to navigate childhood illnesses in a natural and healthy way. And while the intended group was the unvaccinated, it turns out it's an important resource for the vaccinated kids as well, since vaccines do not necessarily prevent illness. Smoke Rings is another book I wrote, and that's to help smokers support their health, regardless if they plan to quit or not. So for people who smoke, love a smoker, used to smoke, continue to smoke, this book helps you be your healthiest version. And when I say it is judgment-free, it is absolutely judgment-free. You're free to make the choices you make. I'd just like you to find better health while you make those choices. My most recent book, Homeopathy, A Foundational Approach, is really great for someone, whether they're a complete beginner or they've already been practicing homeopathy. It starts at the beginning and it guides the readers through the basics and on into first aid and acute practice, so you can start using homeopathy right away. That's the most important thing to me, is to get folks using homeopathy in their everyday life. My workshops and courses can be found at either ecampnd.com or longshadowsranch.net. Have a great week. Again, thanks for joining me and thanks for your support.